Ladies and gentlemen, we've been filming yet again in Beverley Town Centre, and we've met one of the most famous local rally drivers there is for the East Riding stages, and we're going to do an interview right now. So, Howard. No, of course, it's the very famous, you can go now, Howard. It's the very famous Jonny Milner, 10 times British rally champion. 5, 3, one of the few.
Keep going down. 2.
2. Oh no.
Should have been 3.
Yeah, it should have been 3.
So close.
Yeah, genuinely should have been 3. And I thought it was 3. So it just goes to show, with age, we get faster in our own minds, and we win more championships. So yeah, I used to be a fast driver. Anyway, we're going to go to there's 2 exciting things about this interview. One is that we're going to be able to talk about when I first met you. We've been teammates together when you were works driver for Peugeot. Yeah, we can't forget that. And we've had some brilliant times.
Etched on my brain.
But we've got something else in common, which I want to talk about now, which is I recently bought an R5 car and done a couple of rallies, and you have started to make the big plunge to come back rally driving again, and you've chosen this rally to do it and a special car. So tell us all about it. What's going on?
Well, quickly, I've had 10 years off. I have never hung up the crash helmet. It's just gathered a bit of dust because I've been 10 years bringing on my youngest daughter, Katie, who came through grass track racing to circuit racing, and then eventually got signed by McLaren as a GT driver. So once I got her there, it's time for me to have a bit of fun again. So yeah, we'll come back. Of course, why not? This is on my doorstep, half an hour away. I used to come to college just up the road there. My eldest daughter lives in Beverley, and I want to support the local event. And brilliant. I mean, we've all gone up to Jim Clark, which is somewhere north, and keep going north to get there. But this has been a long time coming, but it's definitely worth waiting for.
Yeah, and the really exciting part of this, and being honest, I mean, I think you've every chance of winning the rally if you're in the right machinery, because drivers of our quality never lose their pace. Drivers of quality never lose their pace. But what I'm going to say is a bit of realism, seeing I've experienced it, is the chances are you're going to come rallying and you're probably not going to win. How does that feel? Because you're a born champion, you've not lost your competitiveness. So how does it feel to go rallying, and I'm asking myself this question all the time, to take to the stages when you know you're not going to win?
I think we all go there with the intention to try and win it. One excuse is out of practice, but realistically I did the McRae stages at Knockhill and was blown away with how the R5 car goes. I got behind one thinking, right, come on, let's have a bit of fun, and it pulled away. So you would expect my car's 20 plus years old, so you'd expect things are going to get better, but I mean, they really have moved the cars on a lot. But I'm still going to try and win the rally.
Well, that's brilliant to hear it. And that was not putting it down. I just think there's this thing about maybe we've got a different vision. A few years ago you would have done. And I can ask you this critical question. At what point do you think drivers peak from a competition point of view, and especially in rallying, because rallying is full of older people who've been competitors, Stig Blomqvist probably being the most renowned one, that's still on a world stage being competitive at 70 years old. So we're only young pups. But do you really think that you could cut it still?
Yes, and I think, with age also becomes experience as well, and I think that counts for a lot. You don't have to be fastest on every stage to win a rally. I was always known for, I had to win it by 1 second, never mind the Mark Higgins has to win it by 10 minutes, and no disrespect to Mark. But no, we might get a bit lazier with our reactions, but I've kept my hand in. I've kept doing auto tests and whatever else. So I feel that I'm still as quick as I ever was. The only problem is the eyes. But I'm good at long distance. I just can't read what the dials are saying. I don't know what gear I'm in.
And we lose a bit of hearing as well, so maybe it's harder to understand co-drivers. But all this is really interesting. I saw you most recently competing in where you started the sport. You started on rallycross in some awesome little machine, which was really fast and stupidly quick. And you were still able to be, well, you won when I saw you.
Yeah, the RX 250, Ollie O'Donovan. Yeah, it was. We actually started in autograss racing, but then moved to rallycross. But awesome sport. One I'd go back to tomorrow as well. I love the competition. I love the tight racing. But yeah, the RX 250 was just kept throwing gears at it. A motorbike engine and just amazingly quick. They just take a bit of mastering. Yeah,
and no rest when you're behind the wheel of those type of cars. So I'm sure you've got the reactions to be able to do this. Let's go back just a little bit for when we were first rallying, and I say that because the entry for this rally is 160 cars. So yeah, you've got the boys at the top trying to fight for an overall victory, but further down the field you've got competitors doing this rally for the first time, and we've got lots of people between that. So when we're thinking about when we first started, can you remember your first rally? Can you remember the first time what's a highlight in your early career of rallying?
My first rally was in a converted body shell of a diesel van 205 from Simpson Brothers, which were my sponsors then. We threw the rallycross engine in, and it was down at Market Harborough, RAF Wilbaston. And because I was so used to rallycross and 110% everywhere, the stage times weren't bad. But then I went off and got stuck on top of a gravel heap for 5 minutes, which completely ruined my rally. But still being determined to learn the stages and get going, I did manage 2 fastest overall times with a 1.68 valve Peugeot 205. So that was good against Metro 6R4. So that stands out in my brain very well, because people were blown away when we lifted the bonnet and they thought it was a 16 valve turbo, and it wasn't. It was just a little screaming Peugeot.
I've never got to say this. I've known you for 35 years. You told me that story the first time I ever met you. So nothing's changed. Deeply cut into our memories. Favourite memory from rally? In fact, who's your favourite teammate you've ever competed with?
I know where this is leading. It's got to be you, hasn't it?
Well, that'll do for favourite teammate. And in it good, here's a little lesson to everybody. Me and Jonny were ferocious competitors. I'm going to tell you a little story behind the scenes, and maybe Jonny can add to this. But as we all know, I was going to say Jonny's dad's loaded, but he's a really nice guy. And a little story behind the scenes when we were competing. I'd crashed a car. I'd more or less lost my works drive, and Jonny was my main rival and teammate, and I didn't have any way to continue in the sport and no money at the time. And Jonny's dad not only lent me the money to buy Jonny's car, but made the deal with Des Adele, our team manager at the time, so that I could carry on rallying against his son, which is probably the most awesome thing that I've ever had happen to me in my 30 odd years of motorsport, which was a beautiful thing. And as I get older, I look back on that, Jonny, and really appreciate what he did for me. It's a shame he's not here, but he lives long and very fondly in my memories, and I wish I could tell him just how much I, certainly in later life, appreciate what he did. Was there anything like that stood out for you? You must have had loads of chances of where people gave you something or did something in your career that you weren't expecting.
I did wonder why my dad gave me main competition a car, or the chance. But I mean, my dad, bless him, was a very successful pig farmer, and if anybody knows anything about pigs, it's either really good or it's really bad. So it must have been a really good time when he was making a bit of money to be our bank. But no, I mean, that was typical of my dad, and it'd help anybody and everybody, and he's very, very, very sorely missed. Standout things? I think the biggest thing is getting the opportunity, and you know the score. If there's a door opened a little bit, get your foot in there. Prove to people just how determined and how much you want it. You know, they want to see the hunger. They want to see 1,000% hunger, never mind 100%. And they see that in your eyes. They see that in the way that you are. And Mark Higgins, I'm going back to him again, but can always turn a no into a yes. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's opening those doors, keeping them open, and showing them what you can do.
Yeah, and a bunch of drivers, I was his best man at his wedding, great friend of mine, and we've stayed buddies all throughout those years, and you two were ferocious competitors again for a couple of years. So to just be talking in friendship terms whilst being 1,000% competitive, we never did each of us any harm, and I think that's what made us in that bunch of young drivers become ultimately some of them world champions. And you think between you and Higgy, how many British championships you won, and it's brilliant. So yeah, a great thing to think that when people are competing on this rally, you'll be meeting friends, other competitors, maybe for the first time, and especially when you're doing your first ever rallies. And who knows that you'll be some of the people you'll be bumping into and competing with will be your long-term life friends, just like we are.
I'm annoyed that Mark didn't ask me to be his best man, because Mark was my best man at the wedding.
I was just getting that in there. That was a subtle dig that I was the best man. Anyway, Higgy, if you're watching this, we're missing you.
He can't afford a telly. He lives in Wales.
Right, you might not know the answer to this. This is a final thing. If you were predicting the top 3 for the rally, now I think you've a fighting chance of being third. And honestly, Jonny, that would be awesome if you could do that. But especially in the car as old as it is, because to compete with an R5 car now, you need an R5 car. And an insight into mine's 2014. It's a 10-year-old R5 car, and I know the difference between a new R5 and an old one. So I don't think you've got a cat in hell's chance. But third, you might have a chance. But anyway, let's do the top 3. Where do we think the top 3's going to be? In fact, do you even know anybody who's doing it? Do you know who's competitive?
I've I've seen there's a lot of very strong competition this year, probably stronger than last year on the entry. So I think there's 10. We'll put a 10 in there that can do it. There's Kevin Proctor, who's no slouch. He's still got his hand in very well. Steve Simpson, a few others that I don't even know. But I keep seeing there's some very quick lads out there, young lads as well. So see how match fit they are, and you've got to hit this first stage running. It's as simple as that. It's 40 miles of stages, that's all. So it'll be over before it's begun. So yeah, I think there's a good 10, if not a dozen in there that can do it. I'd love to try and get in the top 10. I'd love to be in the top 3. But you know, it's understandably ours is an ex-factory car. It's, you know, making no excuses. It's 20 plus years old. It might look like a museum piece, but it won't be driven like one.
That's the best quote in the world to finish on. So thanks for watching the video. Good luck on the rally, Johnny. Can't wait. If you're thinking of spectating out there, come and watch just for Johnny, if nobody else. It will be fantastic.
Johnny, can you still get your video?
Hold on.
Johnny, can you still get your video?
It's more popular than Prince Harry's book.
Oh, right, I see, yeah. Johnny's video is still for sale in good, reputable second-hand
No discount
VHS.
to me, Yorkshireman. Yes, you can.
What was it called? Something
On
to
the Limit.
win? On the Limit. On the Limit, still available in second-hand record shops that sell VHSs, and you need a VHS. In fact, it should be DVDs now, shouldn't it? Is it? It must be a DVD.
It is a bit.
Yeah, we can get it on
DVD.
Most people know Beverley Town Centre as a classic, historic town. However, Beverley itself has got so many exciting new parts to the town centre offer, which include Flemingate, this retail location. We've got superb restaurants, cinemas, a really cool sports bar. This really is a cool place, especially for you younger people visiting the rally. For all the competitors that have done this rally before, you know how welcome the people of Beverley make you feel, and none more so than Moz, who owns Shammy's Bar right here in the town centre in the market square itself. Now also Moz has been super friendly and he's lending us this venue, and we're going to host the VIP hospitality and the competitor hospitality on the rally itself. So make sure you find this place right next to the town cross, which is also the bandstand. As we know, rally fans are very cultured, and many of them will be taking the opportunity to come and visit Beverley's famous historic Minster. And there are some amazing hidden gems, and you never know who you're going to bump into. And the King's Head couldn't be better situated. It's right here in the market square, offering traditional pub food, great value for money, even got amazing quality accommodation, and late evening turns into a nightclub. So much choice to suit every taste and budget. Quality restaurants, the bustling old town with loads of traditional pubs.
Beverley has even got Wetherspoons.
And for all you partygoers that are going to make it down here to the marketplace the night before on Saturday night, make sure you come to this bustling wine bar because it's great fun and Moz is going to make you feel really welcome, and tell him I'll buy you a drink.
Thank you.